A referee just about to get this game started. I think there probably will be about 400 to 500 people in the ground for tonight's game. The floodlights, of course, are on. The lamppost lights in the distance of the dual carriageway which just runs through Nuneaton here. We are actually playing at Nuneaton Rugby Club, so the pitch doesn't look in too bad condition actually for this time of year, but it won't be quite as good as the new Bucks head. Telford have a kick-off. We're underway. It's with John Adams. He's beaten in the air, and Nuneaton try and come forward with their first attack. Teesdale plays the ball high, straight into the direction of where the wind's coming from. It's picked up by John Adams. Appeals of handball against Adams, and Nuneaton draw the ball straight through towards Richard Teesdale.
Yeah, it's an important game for Teesdale tonight, back in the side of course. He's been struggling with injuries and to get back fit, and as I say, I think personally that he'll be ahead of Rob Pacey when he is
Sheffield
fit,
United
but
nil,
it will be a big challenge for him tonight.
Richard Cresswell.
Well, elsewhere, Sheffield United 0, Stoke 1. Richard Cresswell has scored for the Potters away at Sheffield United. Nuneaton try and come forward again down that left-hand side. Good play by Jimmy Turner, had to control that well. The ball didn't bounce kindly for him. Again, the ball comes all the way through to Aces Charlton, who can't head it clear, and Nuneaton try and come forward. It's with their number 7, Jordan Stephen. Ball's played onto his right wing, and just tried to shepherd it out there by Aces Charlton, but Nuneaton still get it into a penalty area. It could be a chance of a shot here. A tackle goes in. It's still a scramble in the area. Very scrappy start this by Telford in defence. The ball finally comes out, and Chris Corns can deal with it.
Well, this is where Telford can break now. They come down the left-hand side with Forzik, and that's what Rob wants. He said that to me before the game. He just checks back, well marshalled in the end by Carl Palmer, and Telford still come forward.
Well, Telford trying to come forward with Gary Birch, who nearly gets his first touch. It's going to be a throw-in deep inside the Nuneaton half. What a nightmare, Steve. And Nuneaton shirts are, if we can describe it, blue and white stripes, but black numbers on it, and you can hardly see them at all.
No, I was thinking that myself, actually.
So we might make a few names up as we go along, but Simon Forzik throws it into Chris Corns. Corns tries to get a cross in, and he doesn't do well at all. It just hangs up with the wind in the air. Carl Rogers comes back to try and get that one. It's been a very scrappy start indeed, but the conditions here aren't helpful at all. The wind is exceptionally strong, and the conditions on the pitch aren't much better either. Nuneaton have it in their possession. Good tackle by Fortik on the halfway line. Plays it in towards Husbands. Telford try and switch it to our right-hand side. It's with Lee Vaughan as a player coming against him, and Lee Vaughan gets a throw in. Just waited for the player to come on to him, Steve.
I think he'll be relieved that he's in the side as well. It's been a joke behind the scenes that it's the Elliot Durrell shield, but as I say, you can see how serious Rob and Larry are taking this by putting key players like Lee Vaughan into the side. It's obviously, you know, I think there's £2,500 on offer tonight for the winners, and of course the chance to play a Blue Square Premier Club in the next round.
Telford again trying to come forward with John Adams. Live coverage here on BBC Radio Shropshire. Also on the web, bbc.co.uk/Shropshire, as ever with me, Nick Southall and Steve Bowyer. Husbands has the ball, just holds it up midway inside the Nuneaton half, flicked on by Birch. Adams makes his way into the penalty area, gets a cross in, just hits the top of the bar, and it'll go out for a goal kick. And I think it was John Adams in the end who got the final touch. Yeah,
I'm not sure he meant to shoot there. I think he was just trying to tee it up to the back post where Simon Forzik was making a late run into the box as he so often does. But a good move down the middle that time. Just good football, nice 1-2, and then unlucky in the end.
3 minutes gone. Live coverage here on BBC Radio Shropshire on extra time with James Bond. The Nuneaton goalkeeper, Darren Acton, plays a long ball forward, looking for the right back, Connor Franklin. He tries to play forward, but Teesdale gets his head to that one. And it's going to be another throw-in just on the halfway line. Rob Oddie's going to take it. Plenty of options for him. Telford putting out a very strong team tonight. Gary Fitzpatrick and Lee Moore being rested along with Rob Pacey, but apart from that, they've got a lot of strength in depth.
They have, and as you say, Vermiglio, Keeler not playing tonight, not fit at all, which is definitely a shame. But it does give, you know, the likes of Teesdale, we keep mentioning, Gary Birch, those types of players that are coming back from injury, you know, they can give Rob and Larry a few questions and hopefully a few answers tonight.
How's your left hand, Steve? Because my right hand's freezing.
I think it's, yeah, it's
we can do a
cold.
swap later on. We'll do a swap. You can have the left glove and I'll have a right glove, because my left hand's all right now.
I think I should have both, actually.
It's going to be a free kick. Chris Corns is going to take it. Chris Corns normally takes most of his set pieces. It's now Norwich 1, Plymouth 0. So Norwich have got a goal, an early goal there for Glenn Roder's side at
Colchester
Carroll Road.
Road.
Colchester have taken the lead as well as the free kick's been taken deep into the penalty area. Husbands has it by the byline. Can Telford make something of this one? Husbands has his back to goal. He tries to make something of this, plays it in towards Lee Vaughan, who can't get it under control. Good square ball to Teasdale. Teasdale chips it into the penalty area. Was there a tug back on Carl Rogers? No, there wasn't. I don't think there was much there, Steve, but it goes out to play. It's going to be a goal kick.
Yeah, it was Rogers in there alongside Jimmy Turner. Turner with the final touch, just putting it wide. I don't think there was any shouts really for a tug. It's just unfortunate that Jimmy Turner couldn't get on target, but it's been promising so far. It's tricky conditions. It's I think they're playing into the wind. I can't quite tell which direction the wind's in. It seems to be swirling round Liberty Way.
I'll tell you what, Steve. Look, I'm holding my paper in the air. That's the direction the wind's blowing in. We can't have any grass. That's what you normally do. Throw it in the air and see where it's blowing. Nuneaton try and come forward on that left-hand side. Well mopped up by Jimmy Turner. Plays a long ball forward straight away, looking for Gary Birch, who hasn't had much of a ball so far. Now Vaughan makes a run down the right wing, but it goes out of play. It's going to be a Nuneaton throw-in just inside their own half.
You can see straight away, though, when Lee Vaughan gets on the ball, and we so often see him come past the halfway line, that's exactly what Rob and Larry want him to do. They think that, you know, that they really play with almost a winger on that left-hand side, Nuneaton, and you know, it'll be an interesting battle between those two sort of wing backs rather than sort of traditional left and right backs.
Good battle as well, this, Steve, because Nuneaton just below Telford in the Blue Square North. By what we've heard, they've had a super run recently as well.
Well, they're flying, aren't they? I mean, five wins in a row now. They've conceded 2 in that run, 11 games unbeaten. You know, it's an ideal time really to play Nuneaton. You think all good runs come to an end. Certainly, as a Telford fan, I can certainly say that over the years. But a difficult test, certainly.
Well, Nuneaton appeal for a penalty there. Was it a pull back by Asa Charlton? The striker, Jordan Stephen, went down. And Nuneaton again coming to the penalty area a bit too easily. It's headed away again. It's held up in the wind. It takes a deflection. It goes wide. Well, absolutely poor defending all round there by Telford.
Just a bit flat-footed. They can't seem to judge the ball quite often with this wind. It's always difficult to do so. But Telford getting off a little bit lightly there. There's certainly no man marking on the edge of the box, and I'm sure the management won't be too happy with that.
We must say we're actually in the left-hand corner, so the goal which Nuneaton are kicking towards is quite a bit to our right-hand side, but appeal to the penalty as well, Steve. A tug against Jordan Stephen. Not quite sure, we couldn't really tell from this position, but Telford come forward and the offside flag has gone up. The referee hasn't seen it, but the keeper, Darren Acton, has taken it comfortably anyway, but you can't really see from this distance, can we, Steve?
No, it's difficult, and I know Asa does like to defend with his hands up, if you like, on the back of the forward, letting him know he's there, but no, we couldn't really see from here. It is quite a distance, and there's a number of cables in the way as well. Yeah.
What you're basically saying is it's not the best of stadiums, is it, really?
Well, I have to admit I am surprised. I mean, I heard it was a new stadium. You kind of expect that, you know, the likes of Hinckley or Binter Burton, those types of grounds, which are certainly complete. It reminds me of the New Bucks Head when it was a little bit older, let's say, and you know, there's almost like a tent halfway down the terrace, and it's pretty much similar here. But it's just they put in the temporary seating so they can get the ground grading, I guess.
It's going to be a Nuneaton throw just over the halfway line. It's now still Sheffield United 0, Stoke 2. So the Potters have got another goal there against Sheffield United. James Beattie own goal, we're just being told. Nuneaton try and make a break against Telford's defence. Chris Corns tries to track back, and they switch it to their right-hand side. Good tackle by Simon Forsick, kicks it across field, and Michael Husbands comes back to take that one. It's quite a blatant free kick in the end, midway inside the Telford half.
Super work rate again from Husbands. I thought on Saturday had an excellent game in terms of work rate, and of course got the all-important goal. Hopefully that can give him a boost in confidence, because he did look a little bit frustrated out there for Telford.
Leon Best has got an interesting goal in the Championship. West Brom at the Hawthorns nil, Coventry 1, as Ryan Young just slips over taking that free kick. And the ball eventually goes all the way through to the Nuneaton goalkeeper, Darren Acton. But Coventry, with all the turmoil they're in at the moment, with possible takeovers, they've got an early lead at the Hawthorns against West Brom, who want to try and get top of the Championship. We keep going on about the win, Steve, but we must mention it because it is absolutely, I mean, it's really strong, especially from our left-hand side.
Well, I'm trying to remember the last game that we didn't have a strong wind in. It's certainly away from home.
But Buxton was the same as well.
Barrow, those two very windy conditions, and two games in, well, totally different from Telford's point of view. Struggled with the conditions at Barrow and really dealt with them well at Buxton.
Well, another free kick has been given again for Telford, just in the right-hand corner. We've had 10 minutes gone. Live coverage here on the BBC Radio Shropshire. Still Nuneaton Borough 0, AFC Telford United 0. Live coverage also on the web, bbc.co.uk/Shropshire, here on Extra Time with our man James Bond in the studio in Shrewsbury. It's going to be a free kick then. Simon Forsyth's going to take it. Plenty of players inside the penalty area. Forsyth steps up, left-footed, low cross, comes into towards the near post. Darren Acton does well. He went through quite a few players' legs, and in the end, the keeper covered it quite well.
Yeah, I'm not sure he meant that one, Forsyth, trying to maybe loop it into the far post instead. I think it was Teasdale got the final touch into the keeper's arms there.
Adams makes a good run against the Nuneaton midfield, does well, switches it to the right-hand side. It's with Michael Husbands, plays the ball through the channel towards Gary Birch. Birch tries to keep it at his feet. His second touch wasn't the best. Now Nuneaton can come forward with Carl Palmer. He tries to switch it to his right-hand side to the right-back, Rob Oddy, who's been in the game quite a bit already. They're trying to play quite a few balls down this right-hand side. He plays it early, looking for Danny Williams. And now Williams tries to make attack, gets himself into the penalty area. Good tackle in the end by Chris Corns. He did well to track back and help his defence out, but Nuneaton still have a ball. Cross comes in, Ryan Young comes out, and safe hands as ever, and he throws the ball as early.
Well, he looks very quick, doesn't he, Danny Williams? He's certainly as quick, if not quicker, than Husbands. And I'm sure the centre halves, especially Teasdale, have got to be on their guard. They can't give him a sniff because, well, they're going to be beaten for pace by him, that's for sure.
I can't get past they're playing in blue and white striped shirts, and they got black numbers on.
Nil, Coventry
Can't
2.
believe it.
Well, you'd have thought there'd be like a box on the back, wouldn't you? With it's not making life easy for us, that's for sure.
No, it isn't. I'll blame you. Anyway, at the Hawthorns, another goal for Coventry. West Brom 0, Coventry City 2 for Ian Dowie's men. So Coventry have scored a second goal at the Hawthorns. Good news for the Sky Blues, of course, popular in this area as well. Long ball didn't quite get to its target, and Michael Husbands. Ball was thrown out by Acton. Now Nuneaton try and make a move down their left-hand side. It's with Connor Franklin. And good play by Jimmy Turner. He's been solid already in this game. 12 minutes gone. Referee gives a throw-in for Nuneaton.
Well, he's so important for Telford, not just in this game, but every single game. Jimmy Turner, he's had an excellent season when you didn't see most of last season, but I didn't really think he had a good season at all in the Unibond, but stepped up when it mattered. He was probably borderline actually for leaving the club in the summer, but he's done very well indeed.
Type of player, Steve, who you think relishes the challenge. You know, the more players you've got in defence or players on the substitutes bench, he just thrives. He's been given the captaincy as well, which is a big honour for him because Carl Rogers is playing.
Well, he's only, what, 22, 23 years of age, so he's still got a good career ahead of him. And, you know, can he make a name at Telford and maybe take them into the conference?
Long ball, will it drop into the feet of Michael Husbands? No, it doesn't, but the ball's kicked out. And Husbands isn't quite in an offside position. He wasn't interfering with play. Nuneaton can clear it anyway, but that ball just nearly dropping for Michael Husbands, especially with this wind as well. It's probably not a bad option just to float it up a bit.
No, it's not. It's, you know, play it through to Husbands. He can certainly run past these defenders. Rob's highlighted that as an area where Telford might get some change tonight, is with the centre halves that the Husbands is playing against. I think it'll be often a case of Husbands making the runs, Gary Birch doing the flick-ons, or the midfield looking over the top to Husbands.
Nuneaton 0, AFC Telford United 0. Let's just remind you quickly of the Telford team in case you've just joined us here on Radio Shropshire. In goal, Ryan Young. Right wing back will be Lee Vaughan. Simon Forstick left wing back. In the centre of defence, Asa Charlton, Jimmy Turner and Richard Teasdale, who comes back from injury. He gets a start today. Carl Rogers, Chris Cornton, John Adland, a very strong and attacking midfield for Rob Smith. And up front will be Gary Birch and Michael Husbands. It'd be interesting to see how those two play together. Gary Birch is quite what you'd think, Steve, as a typical centre forward, and Michael Husbands does like to drop off for defenders.
He does, and as you say, big man, little man combination, it works so well at every other club. It's worked pretty well for Telford this season. I think in the only game that Rob chose not to play a big man up alongside the quick man, then I think Telford struggled, and that was Borough.
Nuneaton come forward, the ball's played into the penalty area, appeals when it's gone out, and it has gone out. It's going to be a goal kick. Both players with good pedigree as well, Steve, of course, both playing for league sides, and you know, at this standard, players want to come and play at Telford.
And both playing for Telford for two very different reasons as well. Husbands obviously picking up a hamstring injury, he's still well favoured at Macclesfield, and you know, I'm sure he'll get his chance in league football, but for now he's in Telford's colours, and well, he's looking at a very bright prospect indeed.
Well, whatever you can say, I mean, Rob Smith and Larry Chambers have done an absolutely superb job at this club. They're really well respected by the fans, and of course the board of directors, Lee Carter, I know, is, you know, very confident indeed in Rob Smith's and Larry Chambers' abilities. The Stafford Rangers job has come up, Steve. I don't think we're going to see him going for that, are we?
I don't think so, no. I mean, Rob and Larry said, you know, in the recent fans forum, well, if we leave a part-time job from Telford, who do we go to? I mean, and he mentioned Northwich, you know, Stafford Rangers might come off. He's like, oh, why do I need to go there?
Well, Stafford Rangers would dream to have a pair like these, wouldn't they, at this stage? I
mean, the way it's going, they're looking like they're going to be in this league next season anyway. So, you know, Telford could swap divisions with them. You never know.
Nuneaton have a throw-in on this right-hand side, just by the halfway line, thrown in by Neil Moore. And it's going to be a throw-in just a bit further down. And just while we do this, it's still Nuneaton 0, AFC Telford United 0. In fact, the referee has given a free kick. It's taken early. Played down the right wing, not the best of vantage points here. Well played by Asa Charlton, just saw the ball out, just shepherded it out. And it goes out for a goal kick.
It can't be easy when they play a ball like that. I mean, A, to judge how far the ball's going to go, and B, to defend against it, because you don't realise. I mean, they've got a couple of quick strikers up there, Nuneaton, and I think Telford have really got to be on their guard. But I think it will change in the second half. I think if Telford can get to 0-0 at half-time, and then you know, take it from there, really use the win to their advantage, as they have done up at Buxton.
We've had just about 16 minutes gone. Still Nuneaton 0, AFC Telford United 0. Live coverage with me, Nick Southall, and Steve Bowyer, as ever, following AFC Telford United home and away. As the ball's played high in the air, Jimmy Turner has to deal with that one, heads it out, and good header as well, because quite a few Nuneaton players are trying to make a move down the centre of the pitch, and Jimmy Turner read that one well.
Another important header away. Danny Williams was breathing down his neck, wondering if he was going to make a mistake, but that certainly didn't come.
Nuneaton still, though, coming forward. Both teams trying to play attacking football. Good play by Lee Vaughan, though. Heads it back towards Ryan Young. And Ryan Young will just roll it outside his penalty area. Of course, we could have extra time and penalties tonight. Not really what we want here in the Setanta Shield in Warwickshire. Steve's shaking his head. I remember, Steve, I mentioned it before, my first game league. 21 penalties it went to. And you were at home probably sitting on the sofa just laughing.
I was actually. I was thinking how glad I was that I wasn't there. But no, I think that's the worst nightmare, isn't it, tonight? Fortunately, I've got tomorrow booked off work, so it wouldn't be too bad for me.
Oh, lucky you. Leeds 1, Port Vale 0. So Leeds are doing well. They haven't had the best couple of results recently.
0, Stoke 3.
And now it's Sheffield United 0, Stoke 3. Tony Pulis' men are doing really well in that first half. 3 early goals. And really, that's going to put a lot of pressure on the Blades. Now Husbands using his pace to try and trace that ball down. It goes all the way through to the keeper, Darren Acton.
Well, again, a little bit unlucky with the ball through there. Just trying to find Husbands, trying to get that pass a really difficult pass to do, just over the top, and flight it into the path of Husbands. But twice now they've tried it, and just a little bit too much on the pass.
Well, Steve, can you take your right glove off? Can we swap?
I don't think I can feel my left hand to do so.
We'll do it at half time then, or you can get me a cup of coffee at half time, if that's all right.
You're paying then, yeah?
Okay, we'll sort it out. I'll put it on James Bond's expenses. We'll sort it out that way. Chris Corns is going to take a free kick just over the halfway line. He drills it forward, and it goes all the way through to the Nuneaton goalkeeper. You can see what he's trying to do there, but it just had a bit too much height on it. That's
what I mean about the wind. It's very strange. I mean, it seems like it's coming from left to right as we see it, but you know, it's seems to be swirling as well. It's not like you're up at Buxton where...
I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying you trying to explain where this wind's coming from.
I mean, it's not exactly a closed ground. It's not like a Premiership ground where once the wind gets in, it doesn't get out. But it's very strange. It's not coming from one direction at all.
Well, the stand's creaking a bit, Steve. That's what I'm worried about, I tell you. It's a temporary stand. I mean, it's quite nice, actually, if the wind wasn't so strong. But unfortunately, the wind is strong. Still 0-0. Nuneaton have a throw-in on this right-hand side. It's going to be taken by Neil Moore. Hasn't got too many options, but Danny Williams comes towards him. It's flicked on by the centre forward, Jordan Stephen, but Carl Rogers can clear it. Finally cleared by Asa Charlton, gets it towards Chris Corns. Long ball forward up towards Michael Husbands, heads it on, but nobody behind him at all. And again, Nuneaton can try and build up play right from their goalkeeper.
Gary Birch was very deep indeed, just tried to win the ball for Telford. Actually, I'm not sure Husbands realised that, just flicked it on into no man's land, and Nuneaton could clear as I think it's Chris Corns' foul is judged by the referee, and it'll be a free kick to Nuneaton.
Well, it's good to have you with us listening here on the BBC Radio Shropshire, wherever you are, also on the web as well, bbc.co.uk/Shropshire. We've got some good news about the Telford coverage just before Christmas. That's all we're going to say at this moment in time. You'll just have to keep listening and keep looking at our website, bbc.co.uk/Shropshire. I'll bring you more news on that later on about our website coverage as well. The web team have done really well at BBC Radio Shropshire, and lots of coverage and lots of features for you to go and have a look at. It's going to be a throw-in for Telford. Asa Charlton's going to take it. And I mean, it's good to see that Rob and Larry have decided to put such a strong team out. I mean, they could have decided to put a few youngsters in, but they've opted to put people like Chris Corns in, John Adams, those type of players who've had a good season.
Well, I think as you go through a cup, and we saw in the early stages, maybe it wasn't taken as seriously, and it was pretty much a chance that if they get through, then fair enough. It's an interesting ball. Don't think he meant that. He tried to switch it square, and the wind certainly took that one, didn't it?
It's like one of those balls on a piece of string. You kick it one way and it bends the other.
It's like a flyaway on a beach, that one.
It is a bit like a wind ball tonight. Ball comes through to Husbands, heads it into the path of Rogers. Good clearance, but ball's held up in the air again by the wind. Look how the wind's held that one up. It was going forwards, it's brought it all the way back. Now Rogers battles away, midway inside the Nuneaton half. It's a very cold evening as well here, bitterly cold. It's with Husbands on that right-hand side. Plays it towards Lee Vaughan, who's brought down surely. The referee says that the player got the ball. Came in from a side though, but the referee didn't give one. And eventually a foul has been given against Richard Teasdale. It's going to be a Telford free kick.
Yeah, it was Danny Williams just clashing with Teasdale as he released the ball forward again. And well, it's a good opportunity now. I think it'd be Chris Corns to fire it in. You never know with this wind what the ball's going to do. There's certainly plenty of men up there for Telford, and hopefully one of them can get on the end of this.
Chris Corns is the man who's going to take it. Plenty of players on the edge of the areas. The wind, again, you try and catch your breath. Very difficult. Chris Corns chips it in towards the edge of the area. Teasdale, good header across the box. And Gary Birch couldn't quite get there. Lee Vaughan drills it into the penalty area, cleared by the Nuneaton defenders. Now they try and make a move with their left back. It's now with Stevens, tries to make a run against the Telford defence. Just gets the ball caught up between his feet, and Jimmy Turner can clear it.
Yeah, it was a good effort there from Jimmy Turner's tracking back. I think it was Danny Williams, wasn't it? Very quick indeed, and Had to be careful there, Turner, and he did well in the end.
A free kick's been given. We'll just have to wait and see. I think it's for Nuneaton, just over the halfway line on that left-hand side. And the player will get a bit of treatment, and the referee's going to have a quick word, I think it is, with Lee Vaughan. So just have to wait and see. He won't be carded, but Lee Vaughan has picked up a few cards this season, Steve.
Yeah, he has, and well, Rob said the other night again at the fans forum that it's probably Lee Vaughan's best disciplinary season so far, and I think it tells you what a checkered past he has had in terms of discipline. There's no doubt in his ability whatsoever. You just feel if he can maybe, just concentrate on his game a little bit more, not rush into challenges, then maybe a league or certainly a Blue Square Premier club will come in and pay some money for him.
Well, 24 minutes gone. Live coverage here on BBC Radio Shropshire, also on the web as well at bbc.co.uk/Shropshire. It's good to have you with us wherever you are for tonight's encounter in the Setanta Shield. Nuneaton versus AFC Telford United, and it's still 0-0. A very strong team Rob and Larry have decided to put out for tonight's game. It's good to see as well. I mean, we talk about Saturday's game against Blythe. It was a better performance in the second half. First half, really, Blythe were on top, weren't they, Steve?
They were. I think Telford didn't start well at all. I don't think the system suited them, and I think Rob has realised that, and that's why they're playing a more familiar formation tonight.
Free kick for Nuneaton has been taken. It's been drawn against Chris Corns, who tried to play in Michael Husbands early. Now Nuneaton try and come forward. The ball's been chipped into the penalty area, and Ryan Young comes out and takes that quite comfortably. He always controls his box, doesn't he?
And just a word for Ryan Young on Saturday as well. I thought he made an absolutely superb save as Blythe looked back to get back into the game at 1-0.
It's Colchester 2. They've just scored another goal, so Colchester are going well there in the Championship. Just as Carl Rogers tries to come forward, it's Colchester 2, Watford 0. Now Simon Fawcett couldn't get on the end of that one. Promised to be a good move, that one, Steve. Plenty of players coming forward for Telford.
It's unlucky though. Again, John Adams looking to play the wing backs in, if it's Simon Forzik or Lee Vaughan on the right hand side, this time on the left, just half a yard in front of Forzik, and Nuneaton get the throw, but a good move again from Telford.
Rob Oddie takes the throw in, headed infield, and it's been cleared by Carl Palmer. Big clearance. Now Lee Vaughan tries to play the ball forward. Teasdale does well, good clearance, and Husbands has beaten the offside trap. Unfortunately, he won't be able to keep the ball in.
No, he won't. I think swirling wind didn't help that one either again.
Throw-in's going to be taken. Oddie takes it. The wind's helped him. No, it hasn't. He's actually blown it out of play, but he'll have a chance to throw it in again. Simon Forsdick is ready to defend it. Asa Charlton's there. Richard Teasdale's there as well. Throw-in's taken again this time. This time it stays in play. Forsdick gets his head on it, but it goes behind him. Charlton heads it forward. Forsdick's beaten in the air. Rogers tries to flick it on. Corns does well. Tries to head it into the path of John Adams. In the end, it's going to be another throw-in for Nuneaton.
Just a little bit scrappy in midfield there, just giving the ball away, and this is, well, that was the danger with Danny Williams looking to get forward as early as possible, try and play a fellow Nuneaton forward or midfielder in, and then make the runs off it. Similar to Husbands, actually, the way he's trying to play, just drop short, give the ball and then go.
Throw-in's been taken. They try and get the cross in on the byline, takes a deflection, and it's going to be a corner. Deflection from Asa Charlton. The Telford fans are in the stand opposite the goal. Telford are defending in this first half. All the flags are up, as you come to expect at the New Bucks Head. The drums are out as well. It's really is a superb following for a non-league team. The corner has been taken towards the near post, hits the back of Con Rogers' head. Forsdick does well to keep it in and plays it down the line towards Husbands. That's a free kick. The defender knew exactly what he was doing there, brought Husbands down where we needed to. Yeah,
he did. Forsdick had done well there as well. It was a shame. Husbands, again, his work rate showing, just coming short, winning the ball for Telford and winning a free kick. But it's an opportunity for Telford now to try and get hold of the ball.
Free kick's taken, looking for Gary Birch, who hasn't had much of a ball. It hasn't really been his fault. He hasn't really had too much service. Maybe he'll get more service with the wind behind them in the second half. Teasdale plays a square ball towards Lee Vaughan, just inside their own half. But Vaughan plays the ball high, looking for Gary Birch. Headed away, comes back into the path of Vaughan again. just on the Bucks' right-hand side. Drops nicely for Chris Corns, who, well, I don't think it was a shot, but scuffed it anyway. And Telford still look to come forward. Still very scrappy football indeed here in Nuneaton, but both teams are trying to make their stance on this game. But Carl Rogers is going to be a book for a late challenge just inside the Nuneaton half.
Yeah, it's Danny Williams again causing problems. He's looking very skillful, very quick indeed, isn't he, for Nuneaton? Just twizzling his way past Carl Rogers, and Rogers certainly came through, and a yellow card the result. As the well, we mentioned it as windy, it's just blown the yellow card out of the ref's hand.
Oh, it's all comedy tonight, isn't it, Steve? It really is. Referee finally gets his yellow card and puts it back into his pocket. The free kick's going to be taken just next to the centre circle, played towards the right wing for the home team. Long ball. Charlton does well, takes a deflection bow off Carl Rogers, forced it, clears it down through the channel. It's easily dealt with by Tom Curtis. Now Adams tries to flick it on. He's one of the players who's impressed me. Didn't really feature much at the start of his season, but when he's come on recently, his touch has been fantastic, and he's had a shot hit the bar in this game already. And John Adams unlucky, but he probably didn't score in the end. It's going to be a free kick for Nuneaton though, midway inside the Telford half. Not really much of a challenge there, but I suppose it's a free kick nevertheless.
I guess it was foot off, and that's what the referee's given it for. It gives Nuneaton again an opportunity to get the ball into the Telford area, and well, watch Neil Moore on this.
Half an hour gone, free kicks taken towards the back post, header comes in, Ryan Young watches it easily, takes a good save. Still Nuneaton 0, AFC Telford United 0. Live coverage with me, Nick Sanford, and Steve Bowyer here on BBC Radio Shropshire, and also on the web, bbc.co.uk/Shropshire. Just looking at my notes, Steve, I've hardly written any at all. John Adams has hit the bar. It's been that type of first half.
Yeah, it's not been the best to watch, has it? You just get the feeling that, you know, either Husbands or Danny Williams for Nuneaton might break away, and that might make the difference. But well, Jimmy Turner goes down a little bit easily there on the challenge. Well, he's stayed down as well. He looks in a little bit of pain. I don't think it would be too bad. Just running through Jimmy Turner there. I think it was the left winger McIlwain, and well, Jimmy Turner's remained down as well. He's looks to be struggling a little bit.
Well, the Telford physio just runs on, and while Jimmy Turner will get some treatment, let's just talk about the pattern of play, Steve, in this first half. Who would you say is just edging it? I guess you say it's actually pretty even Stevens, isn't it?
I think they're two very similar sides. I like to, you know, mix it a little bit. There's certainly physicality in there. You know, the likes of Neil Moore for Nuneaton. I think he's one to watch whenever Nuneaton get a free kick or a corner. A former Telford player, and I remember he scored. I think it was. Well, I remember he scored against Chester and Nuneaton. Both headers from a corner. One was from about 25 yards out. He's the best header of a ball from a set piece that I've seen in Telford colours, and I'm sure he'll be a danger man at set pieces tonight.
Well, Jimmy Turner is still down injured, which is slightly worrying. We'll just have to wait and see what the problem is. Can't quite see if any of the substitutes have been told to go and warm up yet, but if you look who's on the bench, just in case Turner can't resume play, Rob Pacey's there. I guess actually Rob Pacey is the man who would come on, and I'm trying to think who they would switch to the right hand side, but they would have to just to shuffle it around a bit.
Yeah, it'd probably be Teasdale remains in the back of the three. Rob Pacey might come on. It's a shame, really. It leaves Telford very light indeed, particularly on the bench and ahead of Saturday's game at Lee. That was the danger if you do play your key men, and I suppose